We're just all just gonna hold hands at this point.
What's going on?
We ready?
I was the second person here.
This whole false
1,
start.
2, 3. Hey everybody, welcome to the Youth Ministry Garage, episode
Second person in the garage.
217. Doug Fields here with Matt McGill, Josh Griffin, and the Queen,
Hello.
Katrina Eduardo. We haven't been together in a couple weeks. Matt's done a very poor job about getting the shows up. We've got people
I've been
going
doing
to
an excellent job.
going to the tweets.
Obviously, you've never read Supply and Demand Economics.
He's got a point. Demand is through the roof right now for our show.
Yeah, people are jonesing for this thing, and they're going.
You're welcome.
Is that what you want? That's what you're wanting to create?
I don't know.
Yeah, shortage.
Just talking.
Yeah. In a desert, we are the drop of cool, refreshing water.
Yes.
Well played.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or vitamin
Cool.
water.
So what do we got
It's
today?
just nice to be together.
All right, here we go. Start it up. We're just warming up, right? That was just the warm-up
Katie,
show.
have you noticed Katie is like, she's very efficient. She's like, she came here. This is why we need a live show before it starts. Katie came here, and she's just been on her phone the whole time, head looking down. I was asking to brainstorm for 2 minutes. I said, give me 2 minutes brainstorm on something unrelated. She didn't weigh in at all. And I said, Katie, she goes, oh, I didn't think you were talking to me. And now...
Big time. She's big time.
Well, I was just ministering to people.
On Instagram?
So, this was my chance to catch up.
I see. Okay.
Every like is a little bit of pastoral care. Oh, good for bless your heart.
Love you.
That's good. Anyway, we got a lot of great questions because we've had delays between the shows. We almost missed Matt again.
Not point fingers, but
Matt's missed 2 out of the last 3.
2 out of the last 3?
3 or 4, I don't know.
It's pretty.
No, you know, you got a little. You're keeping record in there.
Yeah, keep last 2 to 3. People complain. People complain when you're not here.
Yeah, we love you.
Supply and Demand.
It's the 3 of us that complain.
Yeah, we're the only ones.
The only ones that didn't
we're
complain.
pulling the
Nobody
weight of
else.
this thing.
Yeah.
But now that you're here, we can all just sit back. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of pulling the weight, nicely done, Josh.
Thank you. Lowest that I've ever weighed in California. Right now. Today. Right now. 294.
How is your youth pastor diet thing going?
It's going good. There are one
like
person.
phase 2?
Phase 2, season 2.
Okay,
one person has lost 10% of their body weight, and now it's been 45 days or whatever. 10% of their body weight.
Like
well, Biggest Losers, they lose like 50% of their body weight.
Well, yeah, but this is in 45 days. That's crazy.
Yeah, Biggest Losers do it in 29.
Do they really? No, I've never watched the show. But anyhow, I just think it's
applied
awesome.
for the show.
I've lost 4% of my body weight
Youth pastor buddies.
in 45 days. That feels pretty
Our
good.
tagline.
Yeah,
So-
if you guys went on Biggest Loser
I
together,
can't. Too skinny now. As best buds, let's go.
you know what that would do for ratings?
It would go down. Nobody would want to watch.
Don't you think?
The
No, I mean
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, the podcast would love it.
All right, let's start.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast. Scott Tinman,
Doug.
Rock Island, Illinois. Scott's been around a long time.
Oh,
I remember
Scott's a
Scott from many
friend.
things. Yeah, he just uploaded his photo. Was waiting for approval to be a new Wall of Fame member.
Nice.
So McGill, get on that.
Scott,
Did you do it?
do you have to upload it?
Nope.
No,
I don't have anything to do.
Hey, do you want to just talk to our friends and our team members and just apologize for being bad at
Sure,
uploading?
I'm very sorry for not
Don't tell
uploading
them.
Oh, yeah, we don't-
websites.
Look at our people.
Yeah.
I'm sort of sorry. I'm not that sorry. I mean, it's a free podcast. It's all volunteer time. It's hard to get stuff done sometimes.
He does.
Oh.
If I was a parent, I would slap you.
You can slap me anytime. Okay.
No, I accept that apology.
No,
On
I
behalf
mean, part
our
of it.
team.
Part of it is sometimes I just forget. I mean, that's part of it. I just am like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I got a
Sometimes-
podcast on my computer.
Sometimes you're doing World of Warcraft.
Seth, I need to start doing that again. I haven't played any video games for
We
like
played
6
the new
weeks.
Panda level.
You got, it's a big deal. You got a new job. You're working at a high-powered church. You got 5 kids under the age of 11.
High powered compared to the Gathering, maybe, but not compared to. So, what's that mean? I thought
It
that
was
was funny.
inside or
Yeah.
No. We've made jokes before because remember.
But usually we
talked
call
about
it the following.
Oh, the following. Yeah. That's right. I confuse it with that Monday night TV show.
NCIS? So good.
Danette Maddie, one of our dear friends from Lincoln, Nebraska. Hi, Katie and friends. Just a quick note.
What?
Just a quick note to say, it doesn't matter how long I've served in youth ministry. I still have occasional...
She should be answering the questions.
I still have occasional, quote, I'm not sure I'm cut out for this days. The last couple of days I've been down about some things. Today when I got ready to walk the dog, I thought I'd listen to my iPad. Or iPod. Yeah. I have loads of great music, some news, sermon podcasts, but I thought I need to listen to something that's going to make me smile and laugh. Sure enough.
Make me feel better about myself.
Minutes into the Youth Ministry Garage, I was cheered up.
Yeah.
To all of you, I say, quote, you're not just another pretty face. I sure love you guys. P.S. Matt, like you, I tend to rebel against peer pressure, so I can't bring myself to say, sorry you got canned.
Thank you.
I'd rather say congratulations on your new position.
Oh, very nice. That's a nice email.
Yeah, a couple nice emails.
Like that.
Andy Lawrenson from Nags Head, North Carolina.
Love that.
I think I sent this one around.
You did. You did. I filed it away.
Look at this.
Never got it.
Well, maybe it's just a man. Matt's the only one who really cares about the podcast anyway. He's missed the last 2 out of 3. Andy says, been watching the podcast since the beginning of said podcast. B, am part of the Outer Banks Youth Ministry Network, which we ask people to send us their network information because we are one day, we don't know when, one day we're going to do a Youth Ministry Garage tour.
RV show.
He says, C, I have a great location for your network tour or any other type of smallish conference you'd like to do. We can see 300. One block off
right
the
next to the beach.
1 block off of Sound, next door to the largest sand dune in the East Coast. Look at that.
Huh. Wait, that's a sand dune?
Look how close that is to the beach.
That thing up.
That's
but awesome. It's also an hour and a half away from the airport. The whole thing sounded awesome until I was like, 90 minutes.
Why do you gotta get practical? Just live in the dream.
No, I know. I was living in the dream.
What did you say? Today. Why doesn't somebody clean up that sand dune and it's too far from the airport?
I don't care about sand dunes.
In all fairness, that is an eyesore.
Aaron Pippin from Wilmington, Ohio. Just want to thank you for all the books. I was the guy who had that dream about small groups and watching the podcast online and waking up at 3 a.m. I'm having lunch with one of the youth pastors in my network next week. We'll be passing PDYM on to him. Thanks again and God bless. This was my reminder for network. Network people. Send us in at youthministrygarage.com. Send us in that you're a part of a network, where your network is, the whole bit.
I'm thinking about starting one.
A network?
Yeah.
I think you should.
I think I want to.
You already met with Hillary, the junior high pastor at my church.
I know. I'm thinking about it.
You should. I'd go to that. Can I be in your network?
Well, you don't do junior high.
Oh.
Just junior high peeps?
I think.
What if you just did junior high women?
Is it
junior
only
high women?
Too?
You just do
a niche.
No, it wouldn't be just you and Hillary.
No, there's a few more.
Yeah, we are looking
Did you
for
say Hillary from my church?
No.
No, Hillary from my church.
That's what I'm
Mariners
saying.
Mission View.
Oh, okay.
Is that your church?
That is my church.
Oh, beautiful.
Who are we talking about?
I was talking to him.
Oh, gotcha.
Show me that picture of
that was
like do something.
I didn't realize that was just church. You keep talking about your church as the following gathering one.
You
got
anymore.
2 churches now.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I'm pleasantly kind of employed at one.
That's right.
Been a volunteer one for 2 years now.
That's right.
I'm pleasantly kind of partly time employed.
Yeah. Doug's going to be running for office later this week and is trying to be as political.
Josh Pocock.
What in the world are you saying over there?
Matt, so sorry your position was eliminated.
Oh,
Thank
sorry,
you.
Matt.
Upon hearing the news, I immediately burned that episode to a CD and laid down on it while I prayed for you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's a long time reference.
I appreciate that.
He says I'm in the process of rewinding, which only rewinders would get. You don't even get that, do you?
Yeah. I know the story.
Do you know the story? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the youth pastor at a church plant in Cincinnati, Ohio. The church is 8 months old and is growing rapidly. We just officially launched the youth ministry after a few months of small group style meetings. We launched with over 100 students.
Wow. What?
Holy smokes.
The focus so far has been on meeting parents and training leaders. We have an amazing team, which is so vital because my wife and I both work and have 2 small children. My question is about how to do things well but cheap.
Keep doing what you're doing.
We want to do the best for our students in terms of set designs, events, small group material, etc., but on a church plant budget. As my 2-year-old daughter Micah says, we got no monies. So she doesn't sound very articulate to me.
No.
So any ideas on how to engage the students and offer a top-notch ministry with essentially no budget would be a huge help. Currently, my wife and I just eat the cost of almost everything that we
Don't do that.
Thank you for all you do over at PDYM in your first 2 years. We'll be taking our students through, our leaders through the PDYM training in August before we launch small groups.
That's right.
So I feel like I owe you all so much. I think we ought to send him some resources.
Yeah, I think let's give him discounts at Download Youth Ministry.
Let's load him with everything.
Great one.
And this.
Yeah.
Okay, Youth Ministry 360 is going to send something. Don't know what.
Yep.
Download Youth Ministry.
Well, let's give him
Let's give him something.
a teaching series bundle. That's like 30 weeks of teaching.
Oh,
That's
great.
quite a bit. Maybe I will.
Or like a $50 gift card would be awesome too.
Would that be better?
Well,
or
then
both?
he'd
Say both.
choose
Say
around.
both. Push it.
Yeah,
You're so
both
powerful.
would be awesome.
Both. Done.
It's easy for you to give stuff away.
I know. Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Download
Actually,
Youth
did you know
Ministry.
that Katie's new resource is going to go up on Download Youth Ministry probably by the time this show airs? It'll be up.
Yeah.
So,
6 months from now?
Yeah. So give or take about 6 months. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Next October.
It's about time there.
It's great.
I'm passionate about this one. I think we would all say the same thing, that even if we all used to be at a big church that's got a budget that's bigger than most ministries. Even in those days, we would always say it's not about great lights or a fog machine or the building and all this stuff. It is at the end of the day, it's the relational ministry. I mean, it is the leaders that you train and you pour into, and them loving their students. When I went to Mariners, which was a smaller church, but
Is that the church you got fired from?
that's the church that I got fired from.
Okay.
And you're still working at, right?
Just started working on once you got fired.
They took your salary and
They
they're
took my
like,
salary
"Oh,
and put
There
it-
were some
put it up
openings,
there.
so
Yeah,
yeah, they were able to
that
pay me
with
quarter
more
time.
salaries."
So they that's a church that I didn't hear what you just said.
No, it was
Keep going.
So for the 2 years I was there, but even the 9 years before that, ton of resources into the youth ministry. Ton of resources as far as staff and programming, and the whole idea was this thing needs to grow fast. Let's put a lot into it. Not just the 2 years I was there, but also, that's been the history of the ministry. And it hasn't happened. It didn't work. It didn't work for the guy before me. It didn't work for me. Maybe now that they've hired you, it will work. But in all seriousness,
That's the hope.
That is the
gold.
No.
But in all seriousness, having a sweet building and a ton of money and a lot of staff did not grow a ministry overnight. Now I'm at another church, as we've been talking about, that is easily between Saddleback, Mariners, and this. It's a way smaller church, still a big church. A couple, whatever. But the least amount of resources. Per kids in the group, however you want to measure it. And the youth groups, great things are happening. Great things are happening. Our kids love the ministry, the kids ministry, and they're starting to be in the junior high ministry. But the money side of things, if you have it and you use it on wild stuff, then that's great. People will talk about it, kids will like it, but that's not the thing that's going to keep.
No, that's good. That is a helpful reminder. It's good philosophy. It's what we're all about. It's actually, there is a piece of that, though, why we started Download Youth Ministry, though.
Right.
Is because we can give people great stuff for $3.
The story behind that, the reason why we started that was we wanted to get stuff that we're making for our youth ministries and make it available to youth pastors without it going through 6 editors, 14 designers, huge marketing overhead, executive. The whole idea is how do we just get stuff basically right off of our hard drive into yours, and so that's why we can do everything.
It's awesome.
So cheap.
And speaking of the Download Youth Ministry, giving this guy $50, who's going to do that? Because we send these emails to.
Yeah, if that gets to me, I can make it happen. I'll take a little picture of it.
Okay, I'll just send it to Matt.
Did you just take my phone? I took it off.
I just got to go around here.
Gee, that was very funny.
What did you say? I didn't even hear.
I said, you're just sitting over there. What can you do it.
That's true.
That's true. Seth take a picture.
Take notes.
All right.
If I don't get it, I'm not going to remember to do that.
Add one little thought.
I would love it.
Do you remember years ago we used to have that resource sheet that we would have volunteers?
Hey, we got a show going on.
I got distracted.
So we got a show going on. You don't need your phone. We're doing a show.
Oops.
I'm sorry. I'm
no,
sorry
it's
for
fine.
his. He was late. He's missed the last 2 out of 3. He's
a lot of sync right now.
Yeah.
We had a resource sheet that we would give to volunteers when they would come and to sign up to volunteer in a ministry, and we also would give it to parents, and it was just kind of like, what are things that you have to donate, or and it had all different things on there, from like tents to time to artistic ability, and with this influx, that number of students coming in and you building relationship with parents, it's just a great time to really pool your resources with everybody, that just ownership from parents and things that they can loan you, or talents that they have. So I don't know.
I actually was looking at that sheet
the resource
2 days ago.
sheet? Yeah. It was a great,
No, it's in PDYM because I was showing it to Ted Lowe.
Yeah. It's great, and we used it for a long time. I feel like so I don't know. Cool.
Good idea. Lee Nicholson from Louisville, Ohio. I asked Matt by Twitter, but he didn't know the answer, so assuming that's one of the reasons he got fired. But I need an efficient.
Not in there.
Why do you always question it?
I love that he doesn't believe it.
You always question it, and it's always in there.
I know if I'm not trusting you, if there's one person at this table, then there's 40 people out there. You're making it up. So for the benefit of them.
I see. So that's all. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for serving them. Thank you for finally thinking about our audience.
It's a real good show for you so far.
But I need an perspective.
It's amazing I missed 2 out of the last 3. Why would I do that? Oh, wait a minute.
I need an efficient check-in system, an event management system that can be used on an iPad that connects to the contact list I already have. I hate having multiple databases, and I hate paper, mostly because it ends up with a coffee stainer in the bottom of my car later on. Please don't respond with Simply Youth Ministries tools or another expensive program. I just want to hear from a hardcore but poor creative youth pastor out there. Too blunt?
Wow.
I put
move to the community to
here's
find out
what I put. Move to the web.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
it does sound like a really good idea for a product. We can talk about getting something made really cheap that would do that on the iPad. That'd be fun.
By the time the show comes out,
6 months. Plenty of development time. Download
Badgerify. Is that where that idea came from?
It is.
Let's pause and thank our sponsors.
Let's do that.
All right, Youth Specialties, primarily
thank you.
powered by us. Josh, say thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate all you guys do for us and for youth workers. Excited about the National Youth Workers Convention this fall.
Let's do this.
Going to be there. Going to be great.
Let's leave Mark Matlock a live Haytel on the show.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Ready? Huh? You hate Haytel?
You know, it's so funny.
Ready?
Griff,
1,
Griff
2, 3.
Too.
Hey, everybody. It's Mark Matlock. We're on the show live.
Hi, Mark. You're live on the show.
Well,
say thank you.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seth?
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you for sponsoring our show.
All right. Thank you. We're doing live thank yous to our sponsors.
We're going to lose our sponsors? What's going on here?
No.
Just want to do something fun and creative?
Nice.
How come you don't get to take your phone taken away?
Because I don't play with it.
That was your phone.
What was that right there?
Matt.
That was an intentional.
It's making a lot of noise, too. All right. Youth Ministry 360 is going to be sending resources to Azusa Pacific University, Leader Treks, who we love, and Remedy Live, who hosts our show. Yes. You want to make the pitch to Remedy Live about the texting?
I'm done pitching.
You're done pitching stuff? You don't even know.
I don't know the text message. I don't know what it is. Did I say something? No, I didn't say anything bad.
I got so many questions. Here we go.
No, I said
you want to say it, Seth?
Text 313131 keyword YMG and you could win a Starbucks gift card.
Starbucks card and a t-shirt.
Ah, 313131.
Well done.
I did not say anything bad, just for the record. I don't know what you think I said.
But later when we edit it with a bleep over it, it'll be really funny.
To edit it, we'd have to get it.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm the editor. I'm going to go back and listen.
Ken Leslie from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Ken is a longtime friend of ours from the PDYM community days. Over the last 2 years, my group has shrunk in size from about 50 students to about 15. Please refrain from making fun of me. I'm already feeling pretty much like a failure.
No, we're hurting with you, dude.
We don't make fun
50 to 15 that's a 50 to 40, you're like, you can figure it out. 15.
I've always run, and I appreciate his honesty, I've always run a ministry that is similar to a church service. Worship music with a live band, video bumpers, good messages. I spend about 10 to 15 hours a week prep, and you can get them at downloadyouthministry.com.
Thank you.
He is one of our...
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, my problem is that our audience has dwindled so much that the crowd just feels very flat. We have a larger youth venue, fits about 100 people, that we spent some money on about 2 years ago. Anyway, I'm not looking for a diagnosis of my problem, but rather am asking the question, what would you do moving forward from here? Should I keep providing top-notch program for a small crowd, or change our style up drastically to fit more of a 15-person youth group? I must say my gifting is in larger-scale programming, so it's a bit disappointing for me to think about going small, but I need to do what works best for the students and would create less of an awkward environment. Your thoughts?
That's a tough situation.
That was a super tough situation.
For years, we started off, our midweek program was Bible studies. It is Bible studies in homes. And when I first started, I did one furthest away from the church. And the first year was real low numbers. Second year was real low numbers, but a little bit higher. Third year exploded. There's tons of kids showing up. Fourth year, it was also gigantic, and lots of, the house was packed, a lot of energy. Again, it was different. It wasn't a crowd program. We had crowd kids showing up to it, but we basically did the same thing every year. The same kinds of things week to week. And then year 5, it way cut back, like in half. And then year 6, it cut back a little bit too, but kind of stayed the same. And then year 7, it started to pick up again. But all that's to say is, I just think that there's ebbs and flows. That we were basically reaching a single high school. It was Elisa Nagel, and probably more like, it wasn't a Saddleback ministry. Where we're close to the mothership, and there's tons of people. We were far out there. I just think that there's seasons, and so that's not much. Maybe that is nothing but a diagnosis and not really very practical, other than to just say to hang in there and to see how things go. The next 6 months, the next 7 months.
Yeah. I like the idea of walking out and walking in with fresh eyes. Like if you left, if you did resign right now, and someone walked in with 15 people in this youth ministry with this great space, with knowing the history and all that, what would he or she do? I like that question. I think that's kind of common leadership stuff, but I think that would be a really great thought to go, okay, would they kind of huddle up the 15 and pour into them and see what happens? Yeah, or would you go after we're doing a full deal for 15? I've got a feeling they would kind of start small and build a good core and a good community and build outward from there. But I don't know for sure, but I think that's probably where I would at least try to look at it with fresh eyes, as if you were the new person walking into the situation.
Do you know why some people left? I think it would be worth it if you went from 50 to 15.
You have to. There's 35 kids that have walked away for some reason.
To find out what those kids, even if it's to track them down and say, somehow, as awkward as it is, hey, so tell me why'd you move on? What can we learn from that? Or, just to get a sense.
You have to. That's a non-negotiable. Personally, what I'd do is I'd reprogram to the 15.
Absolutely.
I'd reprogram to the 15. I'd go small, win with them, while at the same time, I want to investigate why we lost, 70% of our kids.
Yeah.
Something's happened there.
Well, and it's hard not to take this moment personally too. It's hard, no matter what happened. If there's a church split, if it's out of your control, whatever, you're going, I was running this thing, and it's hard to not look inward in this moment. So I would also say, just remember that God is sovereign.
Yeah.
He's watching over those 35 that aren't there.
Yeah.
He's given you these 15.
It's not based on your skill set. It's not based on your
He's got a good volunteer team too, because
Well, he's a stud.
last
we
year
know him.
last year at YS Palooza, I met a bunch of his volunteers. They were there training. Something's goofy that needs to be addressed, but I wouldn't keep doing a large group program for 15 kids. I'd reshape
you
it.
can
And
keep some of those elements. You just just change them up a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can still do creative teaching and all of that kind of stuff. You just alter it a little.
Chris Matsuoka. How do you say the last name?
From
Matsuoka?
Iowa?
Matsuoka.
Let's see.
La Mirada. Kind of in the neighborhood here.
Very close.
Yeah. Last year.
Network.
Totally.
If she's a she.
I don't know.
If he's a she.
No, it's not just for women.
Katie doesn't
it's
want
not?
to do it just for
No,
ladies.
just junior high. I just was thinking junior
Why
high.
don't you pray about it, since you don't really know?
No, I do know.
She knows. It's you guys that are
It's
trying
you
to give
guys
her a
that
new
are
agenda.
making it about women, and I love women,
No.
like myself, but
Yeah,
I want it
you
to be
were in
just
there
about
too.
junior high people.
All right. Last year, I stepped out of a ministry.
You did the best.
How about young people?
Young people.
Seth and I were talking about that today. I want to start I want to start a under 30 leaders team.
Radicalis.
Because you hate people that are over 30.
No, I just think it'd be fun to spend the next
You like that?
next decade and invest in younger leaders.
Meet
Yeah.
on
I like
Sunday,
that.
Sunday nights.
You're in on that?
Nope, I'm 31. Oh, I missed.
Yeah, he's out.
Remember
You're
last?
out.
He asked me my
Last-
age first.
How old are you, producer Seth?
That's actually I did.
Yeah.
I said, how old are you, Seth? He said 31. I said, okay, we're good. 29, 30.
Yeah, right. That's
Actually,
the
I
top
was
end.
thinking 29, but
I think people in their 30s still have a lot to offer the kingdom.
I'm not saying you don't have a lot to offer. I'm just saying that we could.
Oh wait.
We have some experience that we could spend some time with some younger
agree.
leaders.
I
I kind
agree.
of like that idea.
In my church, one of the ladies who I'm meeting with tomorrow, she's in charge of the women's ministry, but was referring to me as a young leader, being 40 years old.
Cute.
That I was one of the young leaders. in the
That
church.
is awesome. You're welcome
And
to
I'm
join
just
our
like,
group.
"Whoa!"
40 is young. It feels a whole lot younger now that I'm 38 than it did at any other point in my life. I used to make fun of.
Still.
You what?
I said it feels old to me still. I'm looking right at it, and I'm like, whew, 40.
Yeah.
My parents are 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're actually
40?
60.
I just think of them. You know what I mean? You just think of like my parents being 40.
I can't wait till
And
I'm
gonna
like
be it.
50. I mean, maybe at some point people stop giving me a hard time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that's gonna
Have you
happen?
stopped giving me a hard time? I'm
I'm
50.
pretty much.
You haven't.
Yeah, I've
no.
eased back. Wait.
You haven't eased back at all.
Really?
No, you
Well, he wasn't
stepped-
here last week.
You
He
stepped
back.
on the gas pedal. Okay, Chris from La Mirada. Last year I stepped out of ministry, was asked to resign when a character issue. Oh, so Matt, you can relate to that.
You're making jokes about character issues.
Oh,
Can you
no.
edit that from the podcast?
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe.
We'll bleep it out like a swear word. Go.
I still can't believe I got cut on the last one.
You got cut on the line.
My last censorship, I still can't believe that got voted as going over the line.
It won't be your last. Just
The last one. Yeah.
That's right. Happened to be your last.
Exactly.
I stepped out of ministry, was asked to resign when a character issue required that I take some time to focus on my own relationship with God before continuing to pour into the lives of students. Over these last months, God has really healed me, delivered me from a sin I've been fighting for the last 11 years, and bringing my relationship with Him to a never-before-experienced degree of intimacy. I've begun feeling the calling back into ministry quite strongly, and was wondering if you had any suggestions for what I should do to continue to grow and prepare as a youth leader while I'm not in ministry. It's a really good question.
That's awesome.
You know, you are, I don't know if you are at Biola or near Biola, but,
Well, he's got to be near Biola.
well, I know he's near Biola,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
La Mirada.
There's me giving you a hard time. Look at
what's
that.
that?
You're right. I said that's me giving you a hard time. I guess it
Biola
doesn't
is a
stop.
college in the area.
Yeah.
Bible Institute of Los Angeles.
Thank you.
And actually, they have a very strong spiritual formation, spiritual director program there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kevin and Lindsay are a part of, some of our dearest friends, but a lot of people are there. I would, and they do it for free. I would go get some spiritual direction
Yeah, absolutely.
I would get some
learn some Latin words,
some soul care, some
Well, finding a
sometimes
mentor that can help you, kind of in that re-entry process.
You've been struggling with something for 11 years, and just because you've taken a few months off,
was it just months or a year?
He says over these last months, God has begun to heal me. So anyway, I would just say I'd take it slow.
Yeah.
I'd actually probably return to the people that asked me to step out and just tell them some of the journey that you've been on, and ask for their blessing. Or I don't know if you're still part of that community or not.
Yeah.
But that is a great thing about Biola.
Oh, it's beautiful.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Just to get some. Get some perspective.
Direction.
Yeah.
Well, and I would just say also about a little whatever. Just believe that God's going to use you again too. A lot of people, when they go through a big trauma or crisis or sin journey or whatever, I think they kind of go out. That's it. I'm out. I'm disqualified, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. God's going to use them in incredible ways. Well, I remember even growing up,
about this before?
When somebody got divorced, they were disqualified from being a Sunday school leader, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Because of the elder list? Is that where that comes from?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Husband and one wife or whatever in the elder list.
Yeah.
Timothy, is it?
I never grew up in one of these churches that's got these long
that believe the Bible.
Well, you're the one that was teaching it to me. So
I was going to say, some kids paid attention. James Hopton from Millersburg.
No kid that paid more attention than I did.
Millersburg, Pennsylvania. Hey, Matt. We kind of missed you during episode 214. Oh. Not really.
Did they say that? You're not going to challenge that?
No, he didn't. I just made that up.
I believe you.
I'm reading through PDYM now and was intrigued by the concept of different teams of adults that could help a ministry. Cheerleaders, resource, prayer, hands-on. These seem like a really great idea, but also seem like a lot of work to get going. I'm curious, if you were starting a youth ministry again with limited resources, where would developing these teams place in your priority list?
Well, the idea behind those teams is
Why don't you go ahead and start, Kane? No, go ahead.
Well, why was that bad? What did I do wrong there?
No,
it's a bit. It's a bit.
Yeah.
Be you. Let's go.
I was
just trying to make Danette Maddie
jumped
laugh on her walk right there.
Oh.
So it's just
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes people are allowed to be quiet.
Yeah.
So
well, then let's be quiet together. That's what we're going to do at this peer formation group.
People think before they speak, and so that's why sometimes.
Just I'm a thoughtful person today.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Thoughtful.
Go ahead.
Well, those teams, most of them don't require a lot of work. So the cheerleader team, if you're doing a parent meeting or an info meeting, like it's not, you don't even have to gather names or have people say this is what I sign up for. But even if they do, they sign up for it. It's not like anything else needs to happen beyond them becoming a part of your email list or whatever, which is going to happen probably anyhow. The resource team, I think there is a little bit.
That's what Katie was talking about.
Katie was just talking about that a second ago. I mean, nowadays with furball, I'm getting emotional over the list.
Did you just swallow a cat?
Which has happened before. I mean, nowadays it's so easy to put a form online with Google Docs and Google Forms. I mean, it doesn't take very long to do something like that. That keeps it would be very difficult for some of the older generations. But, I mean, something like that, I mean, really and if you can even find somebody else to put it together for you, the work is done for you because it's all organized, it's already typed in, you can go find it. I think prayer team takes a little bit more work, but honestly, it's good. What I like having about prayer teams is that it slows you down to go, okay, wait a minute, what do we really need to be praying about? I mean, I think part of having a prayer team, just for me personally, is almost like, oh yeah, I need to stop getting so caught up in this and that and the project and this and the elevator speed, everything like that, so the prayer team probably takes the most work out of all those, other than the quote-unquote hands-on team, which you have to pour into your leaders. That's where you're going to spend a significant amount of your time, no matter what. So there you go. There you have it.
I mean, for those that aren't familiar with the concept, the idea is how do we approach people within our congregation And everyone we approach, there's a role that they could play in our youth ministry.
Everybody plays.
So they could pray for the ministry. They can be a cheerleader and talk highly about it. They can be resource. They can they have tents or igloos or whatever they've got, houses that we can borrow and use, vans, etc. Or they actually are hands-on working with kids. So that's the concept, so that everybody can play.
Yeah.
I like that at
Gossip
introducing
Network.
that.
You let them sign up for the Gossip Network.
Prayer chain?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like to. This is great to talk about when you have parents transitioning into your ministry, giving them ways to be involved, because I think the idea of being involved with youth ministry is somewhat scary for some, adults, and so you're giving them some great entry level ways to be involved without necessarily leading a Bible study in a small group right off the bat. You're giving them some great entry points. So I love that for volunteers, giving them first serve type opportunities where it's not as threatening. It's every once in a while, and then a lot of those people progress towards, hands-on. I feel like, because once they're in our community and we're using them for resources, most of the time we're pulling them into hands-on.
When you have a Christmas party or end of the year party or something like that, you gather everybody together and
people at those different levels. And you're right. I think the 3 of those teams don't require a ton of manpower or time,
people power,
sorry. So you can manage them pretty easily, I think.
Good. We like stuff that is easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
we're not great maintainers by nature, so it's nice to
it's almost like
Did you guys use the iLife book at Mariners? The iLife Bible, the free saturation deal?
We did.
The Life Book?
The Life Book,
Yeah, that's confusing me because it's not iLife.
Yeah.
It's an old Apple product.
That's true. I'm sorry. The Life
Book, yeah. I think sweet.
Yeah, we use it. We use it. We had a bunch of students come in. We bought fanny packs, which I thought was the lamest thing ever. But
funny.
Students were like, "No, fanny packs would be great." And so we bought a ton of fanny packs and put together a little kit with the Bibles and passed them out to every kid one week.
Did you do like the 1 week saturation and?
They wore fanny packs? And
I don't know if they really wore the packs, but they were all excited to have them.
I was confused.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, I mean, that's how we gave each kid 5 Bibles.
It was just a creative way to give it to them. Yeah. What about you guys?
I'm in. Yeah.
Have you been using it?
Yeah, we use it really in a big block at one point. Yeah,
because they kind of tell you when they want you to do it.
Well, they've kind of rephrased it a little bit where they want you to do the 1 or 2 week saturation.
Yeah.
Like give as many of these Bibles out as you can, and then which I like now. They're coming back saying, now we want you not just to do it for 2 weeks, then we want you to give 1 or 2 Bibles per week.
Yeah,
so you just kind of keep it going, but I still can't believe
we're a different tune.
Well, it made me think about when we were talking about how easy stuff is. They have made it so easy, and how they do it because it's free.
Yeah. Must be just donors or some gifts or something.
We're way off this question, though. By the way,
I know.
You just got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
It's awesome.
But we were talking about how things are easy, and it made me think of the Life Bible and.
Yeah. No, we heard a couple. Actually, hearing a couple stories of students. We had a senior who was totally. I don't think he brought a single kid to church the 4 years he was there, but he took the challenge, looked through the book himself, and then. And gave it to somebody.
Yeah. Cool. How did you get them?
Stumbled on the web, I think, somewhere, and blogged about it. I mean, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
It's cool. They do good stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. James Hompton. Hey, Matt.
Hompton.
We kind of just read that one.
Our own podcast. Red light, by the way.
Thank you, Doug, Katie, Matt, and Josh for the show. I look forward to hearing your wisdom and laughter each time Matt uploads it. Here's my questions. I'm reading through PDYM.
So many people reading PDYM.
Who's reading this thing?
Did they just reissue it?
Well, it's got a new cover.
Well, I knew it had a new cover.
Signed by Seth, right?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah. I'm waiting for this table to rewrite it. Just update it. Let's do it.
I'm in.
Weekend at Katie's house.
Cool.
We can do it.
We need to go to our resource team, get a beachfront house, and let's do this. Do you know anybody? Do you have anybody like that on your resource team?
He does. He's not working at Mariners, so he's got to have somebody.
Dude.
What if we bundle it with a fanny pack? I'm just saying.
This thing's awesome. Let me check my iPad. All right. BWM, blah, 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 blah. Matt got fired, blah, blah, blah.
We've never had much of a process for volunteers becoming on youth staff, but one of our youth staff have been here.
One bad volunteer.
They've been here before me 2 years, and we've got one new staff that I did interview before he committed. I now see the need to develop a process like this, and we'll have new youth staff go through a similar process. How much of that process would you make youth ministry veterans do to continue in their current ministry?
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, we're doing this, everybody. We should have done this in the beginning. We didn't. Everyone's
this is a new thing.
Yeah.
We need to have everybody to do it so we can say everyone in our ministry is
compliance or some excuse.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is the interview with a pro is going to be a great conversation, easy done.
For sure. And I think it's an opportunity with veterans to kind of see, hey, where do you want to go from here? You've been here for this number of years.
Yeah,
so
you need
fun.
to go back
What's
to the
next?
parking ministry.
Exactly.
No.
But it also gives you a chance to do a background check on those that you didn't before.
Sure.
That you should have, absolutely should have, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, walk them all through it. I would wait for an opportune time when it makes sense to do that. So if you're onboarding a bunch of volunteers, let's say you're bringing on 3 all at once, do all 6 then in September or whatever. So don't just randomly announce it and then they're freaking out or whatever.
We had everybody do it. I mean, years and years ago, there was a person came and they said they didn't want to do it. They said, "Oh, I'm really good friends with Kay Warren, the senior pastor's wife. I don't need to fill this out." And we said, "Yeah, you really need to." Still wouldn't do it. And so finally, we got Kay. I don't know if it was me that did it, but we got Kay to tell that person, you know what, you need to fill this out. I mean,
And did that person volunteer?
Yeah, they did, and they ended up filling it out. I mean, they were a great person, but it was just this idea of like, oh, I don't need to do that. And it's like, well, yeah, everyone needs to do that.
Well, and I would just say, good for you for doing this. Don't go another day. If you're out there and you're not background checking and interviewing, whatever, you got to get on that now.
Well, and we've revamped things a few times over the years. I have a volunteer who's been in our junior high ministry almost 25 years, and Gary. And Gary has been through every 4 or 5 years, me retaking pictures of all the volunteers, or redoing an application.
He still goes to all the meetings.
He does it with the most cheerful, great, I'm in. He's all in, and so he's
He's a stud.
I love that. He's willing to do whatever.
This is from Mark Cox. Mark said, Josh, heard about the DUI. Sorry about that.
Whoa.
Here's my question.
What? It was a dark time, guys.
Yeah.
It was all over the web. You guys didn't see it?
Katie, that stands for driving under the influence.
I've heard.
Oh, okay.
It's not true.
Yeah, I can't verify that. I'm starting to really discover how little discipleship is happening in our student ministry. In the past, I called small groups discipleship, but I don't think many of our leaders were really focused on taking that one student aside to pour into them. We've recently started to go after this. Specifically, we ask our volunteers to be praying that God would put one student on their heart, someone to pour their life into for the next 2 years. As this is a beginning process for us, I was wondering if you guys have any experience with this type of challenge. Well, here's what I would...
You don't want to let Katie answer this?
No. Katie can answer it if she wants.
2 years.
Kind of stepped in there so fast.
Maybe.
What?
He said 2 years, over the next 2 years, maybe junior high?
Say what you're going to say.
Well, here's my deal, is you have to be very clear. So what I would say, and if I was having lunch with Mark, which I would if he was in his 20s and we started some mentoring deal,
Radicalis
is I would say, okay, so if I'm going to disciple somebody, what do you want that to look like? Because you can't just say, hey, we're going to cancel small groups and I just want you to invest in kids. We have to be clear with leaders because, we've said this many times, nothing becomes really dynamic or powerful or strong until it becomes specific. So specifically, what do you want to have happen over the next 2 years? How do you want me to pour into them? What does discipleship look like? Is it hanging out? Is it doing relational ministry? Is it going through a workbook together? Is it, answering his or her questions? So I think it's a fine idea, but we really need to really help these leaders understand what is discipleship and what does that look like to help kids learn to walk with Jesus.
And it's actually, I haven't posted on my blog very much even since I've been at the church. But I have a post on this because a volunteer came to me and said, "Hey, what does it look like? I've been a small group leader, but what does it look like to disciple my people?" But I can't remember all that I wrote because I think it was like 6 weeks ago. But two things that I feel like were important was, one, begin with the end in mind. Like, what does a picture of a mature Christian look like? Because there's 150,000 ways to slice that, and that is great. That is great. What you are doing and what we used to do at Saddleback, purpose-driven, the 5 purposes, that was a great way to slice up what the spiritual life looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you go. But I would encourage this, Mark, to encourage the leaders to say, what does a mature Christian look like? And it doesn't have to be 100 words or this list, the pages and pages, but everybody ought to have some kind of a concept of what that is. And maybe as the leader of that ministry, you're providing that. Maybe you're providing, not because you want to carbon copy everybody's spirituality, but you do have to provide an example to follow, right? Paul said, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ." That is what you as the discipler are saying to the people that you're discipling. So what is that example? What is that end goal? So that's the first thing, is to kind of have a picture of the end in mind. I think the second thing, though, with that, and this is going to be very similar, but I think you need to be aware of it so you can see blind spots. But what are your personal passions about when it comes to your faith? Like, what is the way I ask the question is what do you love most about being a Christian? Which is a weird way to say it, and I realize that. But when you think about your faith and your connection with God, like, what is the best thing about it for you personally? And knowing what that is great, because one, you want to make sure you pass that on, but two, you also want to make sure you're passing along other things too, because you can't make that person's faith, you can't try and make that person's faith look exactly like yours, because it won't happen. So those are the two things I would say. Begin with the end in mind, and what are your personal spiritual disciplines?
If you're personally excited about evangelism, but your kids are growing and they're serving and they're all that, but they're not sharing their faith, you could be frustrated that they're not being discipled well. Right. Even though they are.
Right.
But they're not hitting your personal passion.
Right. And that's a great way to put that.
Yeah. Where I would look at all of this stuff, attending weekend services and being a part of a small group, or even going to a discipleship class or a spiritual growth class or something, and music, I think all of that is and can be discipleship. So I think it's tough to go.
That's the problem with the word. It's so big. It's everything. Discipleship is...
Just because my kid doesn't know all of the Bible facts of the Old Testament doesn't mean that they're not a disciple and being discipled.
Right. But at the same time, just because my kid doesn't go to your group or that class or that small group, he or she can still be a disciple.
Absolutely.
By following in the ways of Jesus. And
so then what? So you have to answer the question, what is a disciple and what isn't? And every time you answer that question, every single time, you will create a doorway, not just to following Jesus, but you will create a way to be a Pharisee and to be fake. It is impossible to disciple somebody else without creating a way for it to be faked. It's just impossible, because as soon as you try and help somebody, whether it's, don't worry about having a 3-hour quiet time every day, just do, whatever you fill that with, there's no way to guarantee that someone else is going to be spiritual. And that's okay.
You know what? It feels like you could have went to Biola and had spiritual formation.
Totally.
Do you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay. Seth texted me and said thelifebook.com.
There you go.
That's what it is. Thelifebook.com.
So helpful.
Do we have anything we want to close with?
No. That was good.
Okay.
No, that's a good question. That's a fun...
Put your hand on it. The Bible of Youth Ministry. I agree with that.
It says it on there?
No.
That's the new cover. New cover.
The Bible of Youth Ministry.
Yep.
The Mecca of Meccas.
Forward by Matt McGill. Okay, let's just commit. Let's commit in front of everybody that the four of us will rewrite this.
We've already done this 3 times.
No, we've never committed.
Rewrite it or
We
committed?
committed once.
No, I don't think we've ever committed. Have you committed, Kate?
Yeah.
I'll take
No.
page 73. Well, the one that has all the references to cassette tapes. I'm on it. No, that would be a challenge and an honor to serve you and in any way to help with that. Because this is a book that radically changed my life.
People are still reading it.
Absolutely.
I just think we can keep a lot of the stuff. We can update some stuff, new examples, different things that we're doing.
And we can, instead of Purpose-Driven Youth Ministry, we can call it Download Youth Ministry, and you can just no way, that was something else.
All right,
great.
You guys are wonderful. We done?
I think we've been done.
Yeah.
You want to check your Instagram now?
No.
Okay.
I would like to have my phone
I'm
back.
chewing on what you're saying, like that. That was
On
good.
what?
Just discipleship. Just
So
good
we-
So
insight.
Keep the
basically,
thing going?
Yeah, I think you need to
No.
with all this affirmation that you're getting.
All this affirmation.
I
all this
thought it was really good too, Matt.
Thank you.
I thought what you said.
Thank you.
It actually made me. It made me miss Dallas Willard even a little bit more. Yeah. That made me want to read his stuff and just see how you were greatly influenced and pull out some of the classics.
A lot of the classics.
It made me think that I'm a failure and I can never disciple anyone. So thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for keeping me
for that.
humble.
That's the best affirmation ever. No, that's not true. Okay, but seriously though,
We're done.
we do love everybody
Yeah,
that's
we-
watching the show.
Yeah.
It's
well,
great.
we
It's
do.
just fun.
Will you show up next time?
If I get more affirmations,
It's
maybe.
now
Quite
late
possibly.
summer
We're ending-
2015. The show just was put up.
I affirm you.
I affirm you too.
Always.
We're gonna
Thank
end
you.
on a high.
We
Okay, instead
Not that kind
of talking about Matt getting fired, can everybody start saying how great Matt is now?
how great.
Love you,
Okay, turn it
Matt.
off.